Since the advent of humanity with Adam, humans have natural tendency to deny God so that they can proclaim their own godliness. Means I'm free, I'm the Lord of my own mind, I do as I want. But godliness has never come by separation and will never come. Whenever a person breaks a bond to be free, no matter for whatever reason, the same person has never become happy by it. They feel illusion that I have become free by separation, but in fact they become lost. And this is called illusion of freedom. Real freedom comes for unity, and the reason we break bond is for our self-joy, for our own enjoyment, for our own pleasure. I will do as I want because this makes me happy. But the real truth is this, that the greatest joy of humanity, of every single person, is peace that comes always with unity. And in quest of our freedom, we always become lost. Adam became lost, and every one of us who wants just to be myself happy. It's a global world. If some country feels that I getting alone from all other country and become happy, or if a society feels that just this society will be happy and others I don't care about other, or if a person or if a family or if an individual, any person who feels this way, that only I can be happy myself, ignoring others, it's impossible, because we all are interrelated. Yes, if we follow the physics of this world, relative means we all are related, and if we follow divinity, still unity, charity and togetherness, brotherhood is the highest trait, because Jesus has said that yes, it's normal that people get lost, but still God is with everybody. God has not left anyone, and Jesus has given a very beautiful parable of a lost sheep, that a person who has 99 sheep and one sheep gets lost, then he becomes more happy to find the lost ones. So it's always a pleasure for God when a person speaks for unity, when a person speaks for togetherness, and any price for togetherness is resulted in greatest joy. In this world, there are two doors. One door is of birth, by which we have come into this world, and every one of us will get out by the door that is called the door of death. But Jesus is preaching the third door, and it's of eternity, that is similar to the door of the first one. That's why Jesus says that unless a person is like a child, cannot enter the kingdom. Means a person, birth signifies the life, and life signifies the eternity, but death never signifies eternity. So a person is like the child, not the child. He has not said that a child is going to enter the kingdom of heaven. He's saying a person is like the child. So like the birth, when we contemplate on the birth, the first door, that is the third door of Jesus Christ, that's the door of eternity that he is preaching, and that's the door of the kingdom. Even if God is the Lord of all, everyone, even now, even if Adam, who got separated from the God, or even if a child gets separated from his father or mother, yet he is always and forever, even in this world, the son and daughter of the same parent. We cannot deny this fact. So God is always the Lord of everyone, yet God has given every one of us free will. There is no need of separation from God, because God has given every human a free will. God has created every being by freedom, and freedom is Christ. When we are one in Christ, then we are free. Otherwise we get lost. No one is stopping anyone. No one is indeed guiding anyone. Everyone has the Christ within, because in the beginning there was a word, and the word was already existing, and the word was God, and by this word God has created everyone and everything. All our dreams are created by the same word, and all our feeling, all our thoughts, even our life, even our breathing is created by the same Christ. So we all have this Christ, this free will, this lordship in us. There is no meaning of separation. And that's why even in this world where we have denied God, even there we have the power of God in us, that no one is stopping anyone. No one is indeed guiding anyone. If one wants to become a fake holy man, a fake priest one can become. We have seen so many fake people. One can practice lordliness on others. We have seen the countries making slave other people. We have seen people making slave of other people. If one wants to show false magic anywhere on the road with a trick, he can show. People welcome it, and people can trick each other in anywhere for personal gain. This happens in our world. People are manipulating each other. So it's the power of the free will that is being misused in this way. But it can be misused. It is being misused no matter, because everything that we follow in the name of worldliness leads us to second door, because first door we have completed, like we are born, and now next thing that's going to happen if we follow the natural course of life, it's death. Everyone has to die. But Jesus says that if you are born, then don't go towards the death. And every religion has this base teaching that don't go towards the death. Stop your natural instinct and strive for what you are, because you are born. Why should you die? A person who is born, why should a person die? It's strange, the journey of life that starts with birth ends with death. Why? How can birth transform into death? Birth should transform into eternity, and that is what Jesus is teaching all the time. A strange world. We can see so many people, so many commercial, so many publication and political stunts just by anyone. Anyone can manipulate us, even if we know we are being manipulated, but we agree with this world. So many things we know, we see the commercial, we know it's not real, yet we compromise, we live with it, we say that it is the way it is. The world agree with people who cheat them, because if world did not agree, then how could be so many cheaters surviving and doing so many good things in their life, that they are happy, they are successful, even if they have reached to the stairs of success by cheating, by manipulating each other, but they have become successful because the world welcomes, because world also has the free will. Everybody can do good or bad as one wants. The world agree with people. Good or bad, all are unstoppable in this world if they have power, or if they want to experience the power of the doors where they are going. But one difference is this, that a person who is not striving for something good, that is all, God is always good, or striving for the third door, ends up into the second door, that is death. And in this world, like if you imagine a jungle, that if the rain, life-giving rain happens, then the greenery is spread all over like the jungle. In the same jungle, the fire catches and it also spreads equally. So good and bad both happens in this world. There is no one is stopping anybody. Everybody has freedom to, because if human has to decide if they choose to go to the second door, because first is done, first is common for everyone. We all are born except God. Only God is never born, but God as a son of God is born. And now second door for us is either we choose to die or we choose to be eternal. And Jesus is giving us a third option. And Jesus said, if you belong to the world, then the world would love you as its own. Because when we are sad, we choose for sad people. When we are ill, we choose for ill people. So if world is suffering from the second door, that everything is bound to end here, then it becomes happy that alright, you are also going to do, and this gives some consolation or what, who knows. But Jesus said, if you belong to the world, then the world would love you as its own. But I choose you from this world. Means Jesus has given the third door for you who believes in him, that you do not belong to it. That is why the world hates you. And Jesus says that it's natural that there is a sense of repulsion, because you are not following this separatism of this world. Like when we are separate from God, then it illusions us that we are free, we are independent. But in fact, like a sheep who is in the flock gets alone, it starts to feel that I don't need a shepherd, I am free, I enjoy myself. But later, after some time, the sheep realizes that it has separated, it has become lost, and some wolves eats it. And when the sheep is together, then the shepherd is there to fight for the sheep. And good shepherd even fight to the wolf and can even give up his life. So this togetherness is the real freedom. And that's why Jesus has said that when 2 or more people come together in my name, there he is. So togetherness is the stair of freedom, a stair of eternity, a stair of godliness. And there is one more very famous slogan of the modern time, that never say yourself God fearing, say that you are God loving. There is no place of fear in religion. Yes, it's true. With God, who has given his only son, God so loved the world that God has given his only son. So God is always loving. There is no end of God's love. But there is still some place of fear, that is in this sense of being careful. Like when we are stepping on the mountain, then we have to be careful. This is only meaning of fear, that fear God. When say Jesus also has said that be God fearing, don't fear to the people of this world, don't fear of anything, nothing is going to, don't fear world. If you must fear God, because God has power to lead you to beyond all your fear. So when we don't show your illness to common people, because if they give you some medicine, it can harm you. But if you show your illness to a doctor is going to heal it. So the same way, where there is no meaning of being afraid of the people of this world, because human power of no use. What gives power is God's spirit. So if we give our fear to God, then God is going to heal it, because God is always loving us. And also, fear means careful. When we are on a spiritual path, it is very important to be careful, because our natural instinct is going to lead us to the second door, because we have first taken the birth and now second. That is naturally, if we let ourselves flow, if we just close our eyes and let ourselves flow, then we will end up into drain of death. But if we be careful and climb on the third door, that is the door of eternity, then everybody is going to attain that kingdom, that success, that purity, that joy, that bliss, that really is eternal, and there is no end of it. That's the promise of Jesus Christ. And how can we understand it? By the life of Jesus Christ. His life is all the time teaching. Any chapter, any moment, any instant of his life is teaching us the road of eternity. A person who cannot see gets eye to see. A person who cannot walk starts to walk. A person who is unable to find a fish all night gets so much fish that its nets get broken. A person who is bound in his past gets freedom. A person who is dead gets back to life. So these are all the traits of the road that leads us to eternity. And when we strive on this road, we certainly attain to that path, that is the third door that we belong to, because it never makes sense that the life journey that starts with birth, how can it end with death? It must end or attain the endlessness in eternity, because birth belongs to life and life belongs to eternity. So this is the normal course, but still we need to be careful. Like when we are climbing on a mountain, then we become careful. Like climbing on a stair, we have to be careful. And after that, when we reach to the rooftop or when we reach to the mountain peak, then there is celebration. So these are the few contemplation about Jesus Christ, who has assured that we are going to attain the path of eternity, and he has assured of some Holy Spirit, that when we follow the path of eternity, then we find that a spirit in us that is eternal, and even he teaches of being reborn. So thank you so much for listening these words with so much of love, and I truly pray for you, and your words, your presence is the vote for togetherness. That's the door of eternity, because when we unite, then divinity awakens in us and we attain everything that we need to attain, because this eternity is going to make all our dream eternal. Because we dream so much, we have so much of faith, we have love, but we have experienced in our life that everything ends. But when we associate everything with this eternity, then we attain everything fulfilled. And Jesus said that you belong to me. How can you know that you belong to me? That how you are on this path, that you bear more fruit. If your life bears more fruit, if your dreams become successful, if your wishes become accomplished, then you know that you are with Jesus Christ. And naturally, and in other words, when we are with Jesus, when we contemplate on this part, because our mind is the driver that is leading us to wherever we want to go. Like, you have to go to school, you have to go to college, you have to go to workplace. What you think in your mind that, oh, I have to go there. If you have to go to meet somebody, everything happens in your mind first. So if we give our mind to divinity, then we reach to eternity naturally, because our mind is leading us everywhere. And Jesus says that wherever you have your investment, there you have mind. So if we invest a little on divinity in our way, by doing anything, lighting a candle, or contemplating on the life of Jesus, or contemplating on anything divine, or listening to beautiful songs, or anything that can make our time or our resources or our mind invested to it, then our mind naturally goes to divinity. Or when we feel love, or when we feel unselfishness, there are countless ways by which we can feel divinity, and divinity is the door of eternity always. So praying for eternity in your life, my life, praying for eternity in your love relationship, praying for eternity in your family, praying for eternity in your health, that we all have health, may it become eternal, it doesn't break. Like, we have so many loved ones in our lives, that it become eternal, we grow. And Jesus says that when we are on divine path, then we naturally grow. So with contemplation, with the life of Jesus Christ, that is like the sunlight that is helping for any tree of our life to grow into eternity. And thank you so much for listening these words with so much of love. I pray for you. Thank you so much.